Hey, it's Ewing here, and I work a lot with folks as private lenders and joint venture partners who put in funds to do real estate deals. And so I've done all kinds of different deals with the help of private lenders and folks that just want to get involved in real estate, but maybe they see the benefit, but they don't have the knowledge or experience, or they don't have a deal, or they don't have time because they're busy working and having families and all of their commitments. So they want to get involved in real estate, but they just don't really have the means or the resources available to go out and find their own deals. And so we either partner or we bring on folks as lenders to fund our projects. And that includes fix and flip deals we've done in the past, as well as more currently buying mortgage notes. And so I get a lot of people that reach out, and we have strategy calls, and they show interest in wanting to do deals with me and my company. And so we start talking about, well, what would the returns look like? And with mortgage notes, we're limited by the amount of the monthly payment on the note. And so sometimes deals that we get that make a lot of fundamental sense, I'm only able to pay our investors between 6 and 8%. And so for some folks, that's a really fantastic return. If they're used to getting 3 and 4 and 5%, that's really exciting for them. But there's another group of people that I talk to sometimes where they have done private loans with fix and flippers, which I used to be. And so they claim that they're making 10, 12, 15%. Lending their money on a fix and flip project, which is awesome, no doubt about it. But the purpose of this video is I want to talk about comparing investment opportunities as a private lender, because it's not just about the interest rate. So a couple things you got to think about is, how long is your money going to actually be deployed and invested in the deal, and how long is it going to be working for you? So if you're doing a short-term deal, which most people like to do, they prefer to invest short-term, 6-month to a year deals so they can get their money back quickly, right? And that makes sense. But one thing to think about is, if you're investing in a fix and flip project, and let's say that it takes 8 months, okay, so you're getting 12% return on your money, lending your money to a fix and flipper or a property rehabber, and they do the project in 8 months. So if you're making 12%, well, that's great. If you had your money deployed the entire year, all 12 months, that's 1% a month, right? But if you're making 12% on that deal, but you get your money back in 8 months, and then your money's sitting in your bank account for the next 4 months, well, you're not actually making 12% annually, right? You're making far less. And so that's something to think about, is if you're promised a high return on your money, if it's only for a short period of time or part of the year, you also have to think about, well, is this really a great return? Because if my money's going to be spending, 3 months out of the year, or 3 months in between each project with this investor, then I'm not actually making that 12 or 15% that I'm stated that I'm making, right? Because half the time your money's sitting waiting for the next project. So there is value, even if you're looking at a lower interest rate that you'd be earning on your private loan. There is value in having your money deployed and working for you for a more consistent time period. So we work with a lot of private lenders to fund notes, and our minimum loan length is 2 years to 3 years, okay? And like I said, sometimes the deal can only afford to pay out our private lender 6 to 8%, okay? But if your money is being deployed for the entire 3-year period, and you're comparing that to lending out to a fix and flipper, where your money's going to be free and sitting in your bank for 3 months out of every year, the returns are kind of the same, okay? So it's something to think about, is how long is my money actually going to be working for me if I'm earning that higher interest rate? And then you can better weigh opportunities, okay? So sometimes a longer term deal at a lower interest rate would work out actually better for you and be more lucrative than one short term fix and flip project where you're making a higher return, but your money's not working the entire year, okay? The other thing to think about is the risk involved, okay? So if you're lending on a fix and flip deal, but you're coming in at second position. And this is the kind of deals I've done quite a bit, is where we would get a hard money lender or get financing to purchase the property. And then we would get a private lender to fund some of the repair costs, and they'd come in second lien position. So the hard money lender would take first lien position and have priority. So that means that they would get paid back first when the property sells, and then, or if there's a foreclosure, and then the second lien position lender would get paid after. So if you're sitting in second lien position and you've done a private loan, that can be great and it can be very profitable, but you're also taking on more risk by being in that second lien spot. And so if you're taking second lien position, you probably want to be making at least 10%, 10, 12, 15%, because you're taking on higher risk in that second lien spot versus a first lien position, okay? Now, if you're in first lien position, you may expect to get a little bit lower return on your investment because there's less risk. You have the dominant priority position, so you have the most security in that deal out of anyone that's behind you. Okay, so that's another thing to think about. So if you're, comparing opportunities and one investor comes to you and says, well, yeah, I can pay you 15% on this fix and flip project, but you're going to be in second lien position. Fair enough, that's a nice return, but you also have more risk there. Versus another investor that comes and says, well, yeah, I'm going to pay you 8 or 9% in first lien position. Okay, well, there's a lot less risk in first lien position, and so that 8 or 9% that you're making might be the better, safer bet for you, depending on your risk tolerance. Okay, so, and then you also have to look at a couple other things too. So you have to look at the type of deal and how much, room for error or risk there is in the type of the real estate deal that you're funding or lending on, right? So there's a lot more risk in something like a construction project or a property rehab than there is with just something that's already cash flowing and it's got tenants or the borrower's paying consistently. Okay, so you've got to look at that too. You might be being offered a higher return because there's a lot more risk involved in the deal. That maybe a fix and flip deal where there's a lot that can go wrong isn't the best option for you, even if you're getting offered a higher return on your money. So I guess the moral of the story is look at all the factors, not just the interest rate, when you're evaluating different deals to lend your money on. If you are considering being a private lender or have been a private lender in the past, then maybe, just maybe, that lower interest rate is actually a better opportunity for you in the long run based on the risk involved and the amount of time there that your money is actually being deployed and earning you more money. So I hope that was helpful. I'd love to see your comments below this video, and give the video a like if you like this kind of content. I got lots more coming up. I'm Cal Ewing. Thanks for watching. Take care.